people take them on a continuous basis because of the state of the country that we are in at the moment. People don't have available funds, especially if they are a non-medical card patient, to afford to go to the doctor, so they come to the pharmacist for our opinion. However, what they do is that they think by taking paracetamol that they will get better, and by taking Nurofen, and also they will take them on a continuous basis and possibly more than what they should do unless they ask the advice of the pharmacist. So it is always imperative that if they do want advice on medication that they come to the pharmacist.
I think it's mixed. There's one extreme or there's the other. There's people, and possibly this might go back to education or background and things like that, there are some groups of people who are very anti-taking medicine, who would struggle, you know, to take a Limsip or a vitamin C tablet, where they want to get all their sources from food and nutrition. And then there are other people who willingly will, as you say, take Nurofen Plus, take paracetamol, or also give it to their family, give it to their children. I think it's two very much extremes, you know. So if it's kind of in relation to me having the responsibility to give you the medication and things like that, I would say yes. And then also, I suppose the side effects of the medication that I'm taking will have an impact on me and maybe the people that are taking care of me as well.
With medicalised lifestyle, as you call it, an awful lot of patients do not realise what their tablets are for. They do not realise how they are supposed to take them properly, and they are certainly what they deem as medication is the blue one, the yellow one, the white one, and the pink one. Now, an awful lot of patients do not take any interest in how they should take their medication. Therefore, a pharmacist's role really is to counsel these patients on how to take their medicines, and it should be part of our job where that we could possibly go out and supervise how these patients take their medicines. But however, the HSE don't have the resources to do this. Therefore, it is putting a lot of, I suppose, pressure on us from the point of view that we have to make sure that especially the elderly know how to take their medicines. As a result, we can certainly make life easier for them, that we can make a blister pack for them. The majority of pharmacists do this on a free basis for their patients because they're elderly and they have enough to pay in their fee for $2.50 per item on their prescription. Therefore, there's a lot of pressure on these patients as well to pay for their medication. And will they take the pink one, or will they take the blue one, or will they just not bother taking them because the money is adding up per item that you get on your prescription? So yes, I do think it is extremely important that the HSE get behind the pharmacy sector in determining how patients take their medication and how pharmacists deal with them also in taking their medication.
I think it's quite mixed again. It's like people taking the medication, the people caring for them. And I think we see that a lot in nursing as well. If you have somebody that is of a nursing or a medical background and someone in their family becomes unwell, they seem to be cared for maybe a little bit better because the people have a little bit more knowledge. And then in other families then, you know, maybe you see people that don't have anyone in a medical background or medical knowledge and they rely on the services a lot. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And I think advertising has a lot to do with that as well, where it's, you know, you see these advertisements for they're targeting parents of young children like toddlers and things like that. It's very much encouraging them to give them Calpol, or give them, you know, I'm trying to think of other drug names, if they have a temperature. There's no education around maybe take off their jacket, take off their jumper, open the window, turn on the AC, give them a cold drink. The basics seem to be lost because we have this medicine that will cure everything, which of course will damage a child's liver, but they don't say that.
It's vitiligo, it's an allergy to the sun. It means I can't go out in the sun, especially in summer. I have to wear sun cream and wear long clothes, and I have to take tablets.
Shauna developed this skin condition about 9 years ago, and it's up to 9 years June, 9 years ago.
During July I stay in between 12 and 3 when all my friends are going to the beach, and it made me feel left out.
Since we went to Dr. David in Tralee, he gave us a lot of information of of the rare disease, and it's a disease that only comes in maybe 1 in 100,000, and it's a disease called vitiligo. And what it really is the breakdown of the pigments in the skin, the cells in the skin, the body. And what it does really is that normal people, when they go out in the sun, they tan, but in Shauna's case, she burned. So she has to be protected from notice. She has to be pretty high, very high effective sun creams, effective 50 most of the time, and wear long clothes and a hat and glasses.
I went to treatment on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I had to be taken out of school early, and my friends would ask me to go places and I couldn't go because of it.
Not really, it was just we have to get she has to have the Zoptics all the time, and any has to be changed every month, which the injection cost me, I think it was around 80 or 90 euro every month, so not really, but it only lasts for it only lasts a month, so I have to change it in the month.
That is one topic that is very, very hot potato at the moment, specifically in trying to reduce the amount of money that is paid out in drugs per year. With the generic medication, it is exactly the same as a patented drug. When the drug comes off patent, the other drug companies are allowed to manufacture that generic type of medication. Now, an awful lot of these generics are made in Ireland, so therefore it is wonderful for our country and for the patients to realise that, first of all, the generic medications are exactly the same as the patented ones, which is the original drug, and also it is helping our job situation in Ireland in taking the generics. It will also reduce our drugs bill in the long run, and also we need to get the message through to the doctors that indeed generic medications are exactly the same as the patented.
One of the more recent examples of that would be Lipitor for cholesterol, where I think was it Pfizer or one of those companies, they discovered the drug and they were able to keep the rights for so many years, and then afterwards any drug company can make the drug at a cheaper price. I suppose just in general, on a personal level, I have a huge issue with the pharmaceutical industry, and I think that was really highlighted as well in the Dallas Buyers Club, that film recently with Matthew McConaughey and Jared Leto. And again, it's power associated with vulnerable groups. So they're very powerful groups like people that are HIV positive, groups like people that have mental illness, groups like people who are diagnosed with cancer who will literally take anything because they think it's going to cure them. But of course, in years to come, we will discover the chemotherapy is damaging us just as much as it is damaging the cancer. So I think we will see a lot of changes, and the industry is very corrupt, and I suppose it's very much driven by government and money and finance and things like that.
There's aspirin, adrenaline, and also aminophylline, amphetamine, adenosine, augmentin, and rifampicin, amoxicillin, penicillin, heparin, and warfarin, and estrogen, progestogen, and canesten, and chloroquine. There's bendraflumethiazide, and also cyclophosphamide, and metoclopramide, acetazolamide, tropicamide, loperamide, amiloride, and cyclazine, and fusamide. And if you're up the duff, then you'd best avoid thalidomide. There's lithium, fluoxetine, and also amitriptyline, paroxetine, digoxin, GTN, and azathioprine, meconazole, atenolol, and also chloramphenicol. And if you want to overdose, there's always paracetamol. There's nitros and there's phenytoin, Zyrtec and diazepam, and lithium, temazepam, midazolam, clonazepam, testosterone, aldosterone, and Valium, and insulin, and lignocaine, and Piriton, and Ventolin, and Ritalin. There's kefuroxim, kefataxin, kefalex, and kefedrin, and metronidazole, and ketoconazole, trimethoprim, erythromycin, gentamicin, macrolides, mifedapine, and Actifed, and Sudafed, and Calpol with no sugar in. There's phenelzine and hyoscine, ranitidine, cimetidine, potassium and calcium and every kind of vitamin, and pethidine and methadone, and speakercane and heroin, and cannabis and Prozac, morphine, alcohol and nicotine. You must remember all these drugs, the names of which you've learnt from me, or fuck 'em all and get a job in orthopedic surgery.